You don't see him? Did he vanish? I
No,
don't know.
he kind of looked like a conductor.
Yeah. Oh, no, could be. Yeah. Oh my God,
Either
Doppelganger.
that or he was on Days of
Is it just me? Or is it getting crazier out there?
Didn't mean to cut you off, Dave, but you're getting ready to go into the soap operas, which we'll touch on here.
We are.
Yeah. But hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Late Horror Show. I am Dino. That is Dave Plouffe. He does not smoke in bed. Why does he say that? Because we are going to refer to spontaneous human combustion and doppelganger. Some astral traveling going on, ghost activity, all that kind of stuff. I don't know. It's weird. But the episode Firefall, Dave, tell me about it. This is episode what?
It is episode number 6, and I have to say, I absolutely loved it.
Yes, I did. I did too.
I wasn't expecting much.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. There were a couple parts, not as good. But I really enjoyed the episode. I enjoyed the sets, the mood, the characters. Everything was terrific.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Oh, no, I loved it. It's funny. We were going to, and I'll say hi to everybody in the chat in a second because I know you guys all love that. No, I'm joking. You want a hi from me? Anyways, let me say hello to everybody real quick. And then, I do like this episode. And it's funny because there's not a werewolf, vampire, or nothing, but there's a doppelganger. And there's spontaneous human combustion, something I was really, really interested in as a teen. So this just made for a really good story. We will talk about some of the people who ended up getting killed, who should have had more screen time. Speaking of the babes, we will talk about that in a few. But yeah, this was a very good episode, and I think, as I told you before we went on air, I love the cinematography, the camera shots in this episode, particularly because they focused on the streets, on cars. We got to see the giant Dr. Pepper sign outside of the actual newspaper office, which, tell me if I'm wrong, I think that's the first time they've showed the outside office there when Kolchak goes running in. Am I wrong?
Maybe. I don't remember.
Okay.
It could very well have been, but I did love all the views of the buildings.
Yes. In the cars, the old Beetles. There's like a red cherry Beetle, Volkswagen Beetle that just looked awesome. And then there was a car lot across the street that had all kinds of cool cars. I'm like,
we didn't even talk about the funeral procession.
Oh, well, yeah, we got to. Let me say hi to everybody. I see somebody new here too. Elise Shaw. Hello, all. Good to see you, Elise. Everybody say hi to Elise. I haven't seen her in. And there's Lynn's. Say hi to Elise. Say hi to Lynn's. What's going on, Liz? Good to see you. Couple new faces. Lynn's, Ahava, Runyon, CM, Connie Clary, Sweet Indigo, Left-Handed Jedi. Trog, what is going on, Trog? Haven't seen you in a little while. Good to see you. WWM, Jimmy D, William Cromer, and that's all I see right now. Praise God always. Hello from Dave, Satchsea, Texas.
Why do you ask me? I'm not,
because you're the professor.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that either.
Okay.
But welcome. And was it Lynn's who was like, it's 1:01 a.m. where she is?
Oh, okay. So, where are you at?
Early in the morning, and that's the best time to watch Kolchak.
Oh, yeah. At least we're a nice, small group of family here, the Late Late Horror Show family. So welcome. Somebody else came. Kimberly Susan Fletcher, what is going on? Good to see you here too. Hello. With that said, and Joe Moss is here. Okay, hallelujah, says Kimberly. Yes, was this episode in Chicago? Joe Moss says, well, Dave, it's supposed to take place in Chicago, but it was filmed around Dave. Dave knows a lot of the locations.
It was filmed in Los Angeles. You know, you can definitely tell all the buildings, and especially centered in Pasadena. But it does officially take place in Chicago, and it is really quite cool.
Yeah. Hey, hello, Mandy. And also make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button. We are at 43 thumbs up. I goofed up the other day and it started the stream, and now we got to make up for the thumbs up, but we can do it. The record is 18 minutes. I don't think we're going to hit it today, but you never know.
Hey, as long as we do it within an hour, that's terrific.
Oh yeah. We'll do that. And Harry Scott, hi boy donuts to you. What is going on? Okay, so this episode in particular really hit on something that I think during the 70s and 80s kind of was a big thing. I think they talked about it on In Search of, even Leonard Nimoy, spontaneous human combustion.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of made the thumbnail the print and the artwork with the guy, his foot's missing, because what would happen is, and not in this episode, it's going to be funny. We'll talk about this episode. This funny, but you know, a body is supposed to just combust from the inside, is what they're thinking, because the heat that's needed to generate to do that is just so high we can't even. They have no idea, you know what I mean? But there's been many cases over the years, and I loved the In Search of episode when they talked about it, because but they just don't know.
I was just going to say that In Search of episode scared the hell out of me, because I thought I was going to spontaneously combust.
Yeah. Yeah, sitting in a chair and you just go up in flames. But yeah, there's you know, usually nothing's on fire around the body, or just very little. You know, a body will be burnt to ashes, and even the seat cushion they were sitting on would be fine, or the armrest, or untouched. Yeah. Yet it would take what, 2,000-3,000 degrees, something like that. I mean, something outrageous to you know, burn them to ash like that. Because when they cremate a body, it's you know, we're talking 4,000 or 5,000 degrees in that oven just to get it down to ash. It's like, it's just, we just don't know. Dave, do you have thoughts on this, Dave? How can this happen? How can this be?
The only thing I can say is make sure to drink lots of water.
Okay, well, I don't
so that it doesn't happen.
Thank you, Connie Clary, $4.99. Hi boy donuts. Thank you, Dennis, RTN Productions. Much love. Let's see. And all that was left usually was their shoes on the floor. Yes, Linz. Yep. I used the monsters from Kolchak in my D&D campaign way back then. Very cool. Okay, so let's get into the episode now, Dave. Let's start into this. And we start at one of your favorite places. Go ahead.
Okay, well, it is one of my favorite places, but praise God always is helping us out. My city is pronounced Sac C, Texas.
Okay.
So
yeah, I would have butchered that. Sac C, Texas, with the little emoji with the laughing. Calm down. No, I know we got it wrong.
So Kolchak begins at the Penny Arcade, which I thought was really cool because it was a late night gangster hangout.
Yes, it was a teen arcade, but it was for, like you said. I'm sorry, I interrupted. But yeah, gangsters.
Cool. All you see is gangsters, and they're having a blast. And they're
deals going down.
They're playing pinball. They're making deals, and then a hit happens at one of the pinball machines, and it kind of reminded me, sadly, of the Jack Ruby assassination, where the guy just comes up with a gun, boom, boom, drops him right at the pinball machine. He doesn't even get to finish his game, and that is going to be the evil spirit that is going to inhabit the
Frankie Markov, and an arsonist who got shot. Yeah.
And what a great syndicate name as well.
Yes. Frankie Markov shot dead as he was, he broke the record on that pinball machine, 66 straight games. You know, nobody's getting caught. The guy that ran the place was a character too. Later on.
So fun.
But Dave, I loved, hello, Kathy. Easy Wind, welcome. But yeah, I thought that was very, very cool. It's like a teen arcade, but the place was packed, Dave. Every machine had 2 or 3 people by it. There was no room to move in there.
No, and
But they were making bets, and
there should have been at least a cocktail waitress coming around serving
yeah.
drinks, because it was okay. It was in a bad, not necessarily a bad part of town, but it was down an alleyway, and you had to go downstairs to get into the arcade, as we see later on when Kolchak drags a body in there. But it is just
the front of they do show the front of the arcade like middle of the show. And it does say arcade on there, but it does have billiards. So I think the distinguishing factor from teen to adult would be the billiards part of that, because in the 70s that would refer to, listen, you ain't going to have your kids going into a billiards room, but it really was just an arcade and people making deals and all that stuff. It was funny.
Now in Cleveland, did you have a arcade that you would go to?
Oh yes, all the way through the 80s. Up until 90, I think it closed. It was called Space Invaders. It was the go-to place. And it was just, well, not like that. It was even better. It was like something you seen on like the boardwalk in like Lost Boys. I mean, it was just like, it was just a great arcade place, man. It was so fun. And when it went away, it was just so sad. But those were good times. Those were good times.
Yeah. We had the Sega Center, and it was in the mall, and it had beautiful arches out of neon lights. So you would be like walking into a video game, and it had the new games at the right, which those cost 50 cents to play. And then all the rest of the pinballs, 25. And then it had air hockey. Air hockey was $1. And, but it was like unlimited play. So it was a lot of fun.
Okay, what Space Invaders was really stayed old school till the day it went. I mean, it was all the upright arcades and the pinball machines. They didn't have anything like newer. Like there wasn't even like you said, the air hockey thing. It was just all like the dude just didn't go. And then they had the little thing where you can get popcorn and soda and all that. Oh, it was so good. Anyways, Frankie Markoff shot and killed. Yes. And they need to take him away. Funeral procession, right, Dave?
They do. And it's a beautiful funeral procession, but it kind of cracked me up a little bit. I mean, funeral processions you don't mess with. You've got police on either side. You've got the lights blinking. No one's going to, get into a procession. And this one conductor played, as soon as I remember his name or have it written down here.
Ryder Bond.
Fred Bear, Ryder Bond, is in too much of a hurry, and he cuts off like the main hearse. And not only did I think that was rude, but this is, I guess, where the transfer happens from the evil spirit Doppelganger into his body.
As Ryder Bond, which is just a great name. I mean, he's kind of like this prodigy conductor. They kind of, talk as if he's like Chopin or some of these other. But anyways, he's driving by, and I guess that's when we find out. And they mostly in the middle of the show, towards the end, you kind of start figuring out, because they talk about it and they explain it, that Frankie Markoff's funeral is going on, and Ryder Bond is driving, and they kind of connect that way right there. And he latches on to Ryder Bond. And that was stupid. And that's where the whole doppelganger comes in to effect, because a doppelganger in this, he explains it later on, right? That you want to explain it?
Well, I think the Gypsy explains it later on, but we'll get to her.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's where it kind of happens, and you kind of figure it all out. Tony Horror Writer, what's going on, Tony Horror Writer? Good to see you. Good to have you. Good to know you. Thank you for stopping by. Make sure you give a thumbs up on the way in, but not on the way out, because it takes it away. Anyways, so where are we at? So, and right away we're introduced to the first death. But go ahead.
Okay.
And go into detail, Dave,
Oh my
because
gosh.
this is funny.
Oh my gosh.
This
So
is funny.
the deaths in this, you have these explosions like a fake magic show. And then we see this body. Now, this guy is, I think he plays in the, I don't want to say it's not the band. What is the big orchestra?
Yeah,
And
he's like the second like guy in command after Ryder Bond. He's an old man. He does the conducting, I think, with whatever. He's second in charge, I think. He's important. But I love how they show him laying in bed, like
well,
he's taking his pre-nap. Oh, were you gonna say that? Go ahead.
yes, because I'm like, he's like me. I'm old and I need a 3 o'clock nap.
Yeah.
So, as you mentioned, he's laying in bed. He's just kind of like King Tut there.
Pre-concert nap is what they say. Pre-concert nap. This guy's in his robe and everything. He's got a book to the freaking concert. I don't know.
And then you hear some explosions. Boom, boom, boom. And
that threw me off.
The field, the field goes gray. And then we see in this shape just a bunch of charcoal. And I mean, there's some thickness to this charcoal.
Oh, yeah.
But it's weird because later when the police are there investigating,
the feet were gone. They were missing. There were no feet.
Not only that, all the charcoal was gone. I'm like, the charcoal doesn't disintegrate. It's, and all we have are these like charcoal stains on the bed where it was kind of like a body. But I'll tell you, man, that when I first saw that, it was like a bad chocolate cake. That is how thick this charcoal was.
Yeah. There were two things that I thought were so funny about that scene. And again, I'll emphasize it. The big bangs, like fireworks were going off. And it's like, why are there explosions when spontaneous human combustion? That never was reported or had. Anyways, it was funny, and the guy goes up and smoke out of his pre-concert nap. And then, like you said, when the charcoal is kind of gone and you see the mattress, where did it burn the most in the mattress? Where his butt was. Were they trying to make a point that, listen, the heated gas was coming out and because it went at least 2 inches deep into the mattress. You can see coils, Dave.
Now, I don't mean to jump ahead because we're not quite at the interaction with the police officer yet, but that is one of my favorite quotes from the film. It's like, how did he die? Well, he was smoking in bed. And then Kolchak says, I don't see any ashtrays. And the sergeant saw that was the problem.
Yeah. Let me address this. Kimberly Susan Fletcher, I think I've seen you on the channel before, but you say, are you going to tell us the story or question mark? What do you mean? I mean, we are technically talking about the story, the episode, Kolchak. So I'm a little confused, Kimberly, on the question, but I'll let it go. Good to have you. Black Roses, did I say hi to you? He tried to light his fart on fire. Well, that was my point. It was kind of funny. But anyways, let's continue.
All right. So then we jump over to the apartment where the conductor lives. Yes. And there is this woman walking her dog. Dog's name is Randolph. And the dog immediately senses there's something wrong.
Yeah.
And tries to pull back, tries to even pull the leash to pull the older lady away. And we see bad 70s graphics where there's someone hovering, that obviously is the conductor, but she doesn't quite see it, but then she tells the police she sees it. It was very, very confusing.
Yeah, you get this vision, and it was Mrs. Sherman, the elder lady with her pooch in the hallway and for a minute she sees just a vision, and it's evidently the ghost. It's the doppelganger. It's Frankie Markov. I'm giving it away already. But listen, every time somebody gets killed, through spontaneous human combustion, because the ghost, who is the doppelganger now, Frankie Markov was an arsonist. So that's the way he's going to kill his victims. And it's funny that they incorporated the arson into the spontaneous human combustion. But every time that happens, the ghost or the doppelganger, who looks just like Ryder Bond, because that's who he's doppelganging, whatever. Is that a word?
It is now.
Doesn't matter, Dave, right? Because what the doppelganger wants to do is take over, kill and take over the body of like somebody that they look up to or they want to be or something. In this case, Frankie Markov. I'm jumping ahead a little bit, Dave, but he loves music and wants to conduct. So he wants to kill Ryder Bond and take over his body. So that's why he's taking on his shape.
Right.
There we go. So yeah, the old bag, the old dirt bag, walking her dog. That's mean of me to say, but you know.
That is. I thought she was a very nice lady, and I would expect.
I take it back. No, she
was.
I'd love to carry her bags of groceries up to her apartment.
That would have been very nice of you.
That would have been really fun.
Probably got a nickel or a dime tip.
Probably. Ahava says, I think she was wondering if you were going to actually play the show, like the nightly stream or the Clue Club. You mean play the episode? Oh, Kimberly, no, we can't play the episode. You can't do that. There's copyrights there. Anyways,
unfortunately,
yeah, you got two guys here talking about the episode. We watch it, we have fun, we tell things that we love about it and memories. And anyways, let's move on. Okay, where we at then? We also do have Monique Marmelstein. She's in this again. Carol Ann Susie. Last episode, Dave said.
Yeah, this is the last episode she's in.
Poor woman.
I know. I feel bad, but you know, it's like one of those things when you start to see these actors and actresses early on, and you want to tell them, "Hey, you're going to be famous. You're going to be in Seinfeld. You're going to be, you know, in all these great films."
Oh yeah. And talked about, you know, in Kolchak even, and they were bit roles. You know, she didn't play a big part in this. You know, you can tell the humor that she had. Yeah. Oh, and Seinfeld. Oh, she played a good role in that. Yeah, we are at 70 thumbs up.
Oh, that's great.
Excellent. Thank you guys and gals. So yes, I just wanted to, you know, you got Updike, you know, Vincenzo, of course, is always in there. Yeah, Mrs. Sherman and the dog, Monique Marmelstein, David. We also get David Doyle, who is who, Dave?
He would be Bosley from Charlie's Angels.
Yeah,
who
he's here
noted for.
Yeah, and here he's Cardinale. He's the lead investigator in the arson squad. So yeah, you know, we got Bosley here. I was waiting for him to say, "Hey, girls," you know, something like that, you know, but nah.
Yeah, again, 2 years out from Charlie's Angels.
2 years out. Wow.
And he did kind of remind me of earlier on. Was it the zombie episode where we had Dick Van Patten just kind of came on and then left?
Yeah.
Then the same thing. David Doyle comes on and he leaves. We don't see him again. And it's kind of sad because it's like, you know, is it because they need a paycheck? You know, kind of like Scatman Crothers, you know?
Well, isn't that what they did? I mean, on TV, especially during the 70s, you know, you had a lot of people who just, you know, they did bit roles in movies and stuff like that, but they did a bunch of TV. I mean, you look at their IMDb credits for just about, like you were talking about earlier, before we went live. Every one of these people have. Go ahead, Dave. They all have credits on TV, man.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at some of the people maybe have 50 credits. Some of the older people.
Yeah.
But these younger people like Fred Bear, Philip Carey, Virginia Vincent, I mean, you're looking at 80, 100, 110 credits, and they were on everything. A few of these people, and I agree, you know, Ian Sharp, there were so many people that were noted in this episode that you would have known from soap operas during the week. And especially when I look at Philip Carey, he's got Gunsmoke written all over him. He was in so many different Westerns. And,
yeah.
I love the history of all these people.
And I think it was, it was a resume thing back in the 70s. I mean, of course they were, they didn't get paid as much as today, and, they were getting their paychecks. So let's do as much work as they possibly can. But it was a resume thing. The more you get, more shows you get on, the more you get your face out there. I mean, look at David Doyle. He would be on Charlie's Angels a couple years later, which ended up being a big thing. His voice, iconic. I mean, how could you forget that voice, right? But in here, he's just one little scene. And there was a scene when Kolchak does, in a little bit, when he comes up to him, he says this, like, they're going back and forth, like, how does somebody burn like that? And I like his response, Bosley. I'm calling him Bosley now, but he's the head of the arson squad. He goes, oh, unless they got super hot foot juice, and it's like super hot foot juice is what they talk about. Oh, I love that line. That was great. And there were some good lines in here. I don't know if you wrote any of them down, but
I really didn't write any of them down. I was too impressed with just the different feel of this episode.
Yeah, definitely a different feel.
And we saw, as you had mentioned, the Dr. Pepper sign earlier. As Kolchak is running across the street, we kind of pan up, and we've got these beautiful tall buildings and a perfect product placement for Dr. Pepper as he runs into the, Penny Pincher's pub or something like that.
No, he ran into the newspaper office.
Oh, well, the Penny Pincher's pub is on the ground floor.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, there you go. Okay. But yeah, that Dr. Pepper, 1974, written all over it, the style, everything. And it was really big, and it was on that brick building right across the street. And I looked at it, and I'm like going, oh man, I don't know why I'm just nostalgic. I love everything that has to do with history and the way things were. And just seeing that sign even just really, really connected with me. And I'm like going, that is so cool. I love it. But I think next we're going to go to the second kill. Really,
perfect. Yeah, which is really sad because I wish I had known her more.
She was a very beautiful girl, Dave. She's in the pool tanning, and go ahead.
So she gets out of the pool. We have a perfect Sports Illustrated moment.
Yeah,
she goes and lies down, and then
Alicia Porter is her name.
Alicia Porter.
Felicia Porter.
Okay.
And I think she's the conductor, Ryder Bond's girlfriend. Because did you get that connection later?
I didn't get the connection. I thought more secretary, personal assistant.
Okay, well, maybe, because Kolchak does mention his loss.
Okay.
Of Felicia Porter. And I thought it was something close, but there you go. Yeah.
So she gets out of the pool, does a little shake, heads over to the Chaise Lounge. But when she gets there, she looks over, and again, we have that poor, head behind her, shoulder type of thing. And she's all Ryder. And then she lays down, closes her eyes, boom, boom, boom. She's toast.
Boom, boom, boom.
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
And it's so sad. And then
because she was I'm like, this girl's going to have a bigger role in this episode because she's just so damn beautiful. And she's gone like that,
Yeah.
And of course you see the ghost of there was one thing right as Kolchak was like doing his dialogue when she was being introduced, Felicia Porter. He goes, music groupie, what I mean? And I'm going, music groupie to like opera type music or what kind of music does it conduct? Orchestra music.
Classical, yeah.
Yeah, so she's a music groupie. I mean, I was just trying to, I'm used to like the groupies of the 80s, the rock bands and stuff like that. But here he says it, hey, Felicia Porter, beautiful girl, music groupie. And I'm like going, what the hell? Music groupie. Anyways, I thought that was funny. I don't know. And we do get the ghost again, the doppelganger, who shows up, Dave, as she was burning up?
I don't remember who shows up first, but as she's exploding into ashes or charcoal, Tom Berenger, uncredited, shows up
Tom Berenger.
along with another girl, again, very, very attractive. Um,
Yep.
and she gives one of the intro into a commercial screams.
Yes, it was a good scream.
It was a great scream.
Yeah, she did a good job. It was a scream queen all the way.
And then the screen goes black. So we know we're into a commercial. We come back out. I think Kolchak's there. The sergeant, what was his name?
Sergeant Mayer, played
Yeah.
by Philip Carey, who again was on just about every TV show back in the day, and he's a face. I think even you would recognize him as soon as you see him.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But
Tons
he's the sergeant in this one, and he's not too. He tells Kolchak to get the heck out of here a couple times, but for the most part, this episode, Kolchak really gets to move his way in there pretty easy.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I think Kolchak is really the star of this episode.
Yeah.
Where we had in the past a lot of supporting characters that I thought were really interesting. And to me, there wasn't really a lot of supporting characters here. We have the ones that there's a lot of killings.
Oh, yeah.
In this episode. And we also don't have like this supernatural element, except we have just this doppelganger thing. We don't have, I shouldn't say supernatural element. I meant to say like a vampire, a zombie.
Yeah, there's no monster or creature or something beyond the realm, but there is that supernatural thing. With dealing with the doppelganger, the spontaneous human combustion. They're all things that are put under that umbrella that are just, you just don't know anything about it. What's trying to Maya Angelo is in the chat. Good to. I didn't know you were around still, but good to see you.
Yeah,
good to have you here.
Any Kolchak fan is a fan of ours.
You better believe it. Yeah, loved Kolchak.
And we still have 14 more episodes.
Oh, 14 more episodes. I can't wait to talk. Again, each one up until last week they're all great, but I'm like going, this one, this one, this one. But this one, I don't know if I was more in a mood for it, but this one I really like. Hey, Carl's Order of the Squirrels, what's going on? Okay, anyways, so yeah, Tom Berenger, the whole thing, Sergeant Mayer talking to Kolchak and tells him to get out of here. And then we move on from there. So yeah.
Well, I'm already jumping. I'm going to jump to the next killing.
Killing number 3, or spontaneous human combustion number 3.
Where there's you see two guys driving away. Carl's like going to meet with a conductor, but he's driving away with someone else. And I can't remember who it is, but they're driving this really cool car and they take off through the streets of Pasadena. It's literally down Green Street. And all of a sudden, Carl gets stopped. He follows them and he gets stopped at a stoplight. Yeah. And he's kind of cussing up a storm because he missed the light. But then you hear the lightning. And you're all like, I know what's happened. And Carl turns the corner just as police surprisingly arrive on the scene so quickly.
Yeah.
Has this car where it looks like a smoke bomb has, been let out within it.
And they're taking fire extinguishers.
Oh man, it's great. And Carl comes running up. He goes, "There's 2 guys in there." And there's only ashes of one.
Yep. Hey, Tomo. Hey, Shelly. Yes. Well, it's the Philip, the stage manager for Ryder Bond.
Yeah.
He's the one that got it next, and I think it's because he knew a little bit about. Like he was saying. I seen Ryder when these killings were going on. I handed him a note. So I don't know. He got rid of him for some reason. I always thought through this episode, I thought it was curious. I was curious why Kolchak never went up in flames. But I guess you have to be asleep in order to go into spontaneous human combustion.
Right.
But the woman who was sunbathing, Felicia Porter, when she laid back to sunbathe, that was an immediate can you that fast? Is that how fast it happens?
Well, you're out in the sun, you've been swimming all day.
Okay, but yeah, no. So yeah, that was number 3 of the deaths. Yeah, and then we move on from there. Good to see you, Tomo. Hey, Tomo. Good to see you. And Shelly, yes. So go ahead.
I was going to say, then I think we're at the point where Carl needs to meet with Ryder Bond.
Oh, this is a scene. Yes, go on.
And he goes up to
a wild scene, man.
It is. Man, it's a psychedelic trip.
Whew.
We are at Ryder Bond's really cool 1970s, almost penthouse-like apartment.
Yeah.
And I think this is where that older woman also lived, in that same apartment building. Just because I kind of got that wealthy type of, atmosphere from both of them. And so Carl knocks on the door, and Ryder Bond opens up the door. And you could not have a mask that had less emotion. It was just like, what are you doing here? And, he lets Carl in, doesn't talk to him. Carl's doing all the talking.
Yeah, I don't even think he said anything, did he?
He doesn't. So lets him in. He closes the door. And if you didn't see it, there's a Picasso painting right behind the door. And it's just, there's modern art everywhere. It is so 1970s. Everything is carpeted. You've got your house plants. You've got your piano. You've got a beautiful couch, which Carl sits down on. And then Carl's still talking, and Ryder disappears.
He just vanishes. Yeah. And Kolchak, I love, he gets up, he looks around, he's just gone. And he makes his way to his bedroom,
which has an aquarium.
Yeah, which does have an aquarium. Yes. And Dave says that because I'm an aquarium enthusiast, hobbyist, whatever. Anyways, he good to see you too, Dino. I've loved watching Kolchak since the mid-70s. Very cool. Yeah, listen, me and Dave both are hitting the series together, like each episode. So the movies Dave knew, and he turned me on to them, and I watched them. But the series, I never watched them. So we're going through these one at a time until we get through them all. But he makes his way into the bedroom, and the door slams, and then he sees the doppelganger again, because we find out that Ryder Bond was not at the apartment, but his doppelganger was. So evidently the doppelganger could have keys and let him in. I don't know all that.
Not only that, he's got physicality. He can open the door. He can physically manifest. Like, that was no ghost. That was just a very solid human being.
What was strange about this, though, was when he was in the room and he saw him, things started going up in flames.
Well, once he's in the bedroom,
in the bedroom,
the door closes, and then you have all these little sparkles all the way around the room. It was again kind of like this magic trick. I really enjoyed it. I think because it was so like magician-like, where you've got the curtains exploded in flames, the bed explodes in flames, and Carl has to take his pork pie hat off his head and use that to be able to, open the doors to get out. But then the scene ends, and I'm like, did the flames just go out? Did the entire apartment burn down?
They don't even resolve it. Yes.
No, that was just kind of like
really? Did the fire department come? What happened? Yeah, it left you hanging, and I was just like, wait, what? And even when he was in the bedroom, I was questioning how the doppelganger kept shooting flames or whatever. How come he wasn't doing it to Kolchak, like getting his jacket on fire and stuff? You know what I mean?
That would have been a good idea too. But remember what at the very end where we see Markov's son, he has the same thing where he's got various things lit around the apartment on fire.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Are we there yet? Did we pass that?
No, we're not there yet. But it just, and the mom's all,
listen, we'll talk about it real quick, because he does go a little bit later and talk to Frankie Markov's wife.
Yes, that would be Mrs. Markov,
Yes, it would be. And her,
played by Virginia Vincent.
what's that?
Played by Virginia Vincent,
Oh.
who is absolutely quite beautiful as
Yes.
well. You would know her mostly from Eight is Enough.
Yes, that's where I recognized her face from immediately. But it's okay to talk about this because it really doesn't matter. Later on, he finds out, about Frankie Markov and how there's the connection there. And he does go to question her and talk to her about that. And that's where she finds out, or Kolchak finds out from her, that he's into music and all that. And she came in one time and he was doing some magic wand kind of, conducting an orchestra. And meanwhile, her son's there. And as Kolchak's walking out the door, he turns around and there's a fire in the one bowl. And then over there, Kolchak points to the next one. There's another fire starting there. And she looks over at her son and he's just like, got this look on his face and just like smug look, the dude's going to be an arsonist.
Totally. Like father, like son. He had a thing of matches. Like, come on, the kid's not that old. You can take that away from him.
Yeah. No,
But then I started thinking maybe the ghost of the dad is visiting the kid and he's lighting things on fire like he lit around Kolchak. So,
I mean, that could be an explanation, but I love that the kid's going to be an arsonist too. I like that.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
But I think that brings us to the Gypsy, right? Kolchak visits the Gypsy.
Yeah, he tried to go
Got a
to
lot to say
different
about her.
Okay. She well,
what a beautiful woman. Anyway, she's a gypsy.
She was a beautiful woman. I was telling Dino earlier, she reminded me of Valerie Harper. Yes. Someone, Rhoda, basically, where, in the 70s, they wore that handkerchief around their head all the time. And then this lady is a beautiful gypsy lady that I wish was in various episodes because I think they have a great story together. Yeah. I think she's a really great on-screen presence, and she is really good at explaining what a doppelganger was or is.
Yeah, because she's a gypsy and she knows things about the supernatural and the ghost and the other side. So she can break that veil. I mean, she's telling people, reading people's palms. She's got a connection to the other side. But anyway.
She does. And I love the two old ladies that she's reading their palms, and then she sees Carl behind her, and then she starts going, and don't ever trust a newspaper reporter. And they're all, I don't understand the end of what she was saying.
Yeah. Well, and I was wondering, does she do readings like that where she just lets all the personal information to everybody in the restaurant or whatever? Like she's just doing it at this restaurant, It's not like her.
Oh, yeah. It was like an early episode of an Olive Garden is what it was. You had the trellis, you had the fake plants. Hey, if you're here, you're family,
Yeah. Oh, my God. So funny.
Speaking of gypsies and fortune readers, have you ever had your fortune read?
Yes.
By professional people?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Well, in real life, in person, 3 times. And one person was the real deal. Okay. And it was just, and it. See, the funny thing is, it when you feel it. If they're real, you know it, you feel it. And a couple times on, my Paranormal to the Night, I kind of, got a connection with Sandra, who was on the stream, and she's the real deal, Sandra, and I have to have her on again. But it's very, very interesting and freaky at the same time. But so Kolchak's asking her about, pulls her away and just like, you got to tell me about the doppelganger. What do I do? How do I get this, doppelganger from trying to kill me, And I love that she says $200. My grandmother or my mother knows, but I don't like to visit her because she's in a nursing home and she complains about this and her stomach and everything else. And I'm like going, hey, wait a second. I complain about those things. Oh, anyways, but
she's at a nursing, which is funny. She's at a nursing home in Winnetka.
Yes.
which is actually right near Pasadena. So,
Oh yeah, left.
I don't know if there's a Winnetka, Chicago area,
Who
but
knows? Yeah, Kolchak's personality was a bit darker in the movies. Agree with you, Left-Handed Jedi. Definitely got a little bit more comical, a little bit more comedy in the series. Although they were border. It was good. It was good. It wasn't too much comedy, so I loved it. Hides in long grass. Always loved Kolchak the Night Stalker. Good to see you, Hides in long grass. Over at Christina Gomez. I gotta have her on again. But good to have you here. Anyways, okay. So the doppelganger, she says the gypsy says, I need $200, and he shows her $5. This is my dinner. This is my dinner money.
and back in the 1970s, that would actually be a pretty good dinner as well.
$5. Well, yeah, $5.99 could get you. Man, back in the 80s, Ponderosa Steakhouse could get you a good ribeye, potatoes, and
That's exactly what I was thinking.
add on, I think, maybe a couple bucks, and you got the big buffet where you can sit there all day long and eat. There were some. I worked at Ponderosa when I was
wow.
right out of high school, and I was the broiler cook, and oh my God, Dave, talk about a job, man. The rush comes in. I've had lines, all the rare stuff on top, medium rare, and this was just a gigantic boiler, and I'm flipping this, and I'm like, this got to be rare. It's got 30 more seconds. This got to burn a little bit longer. It stays down lower. Man, what a freaking tough job. Anyways, so yeah, so that's basically it. She did say a religious place, like if they sleep in a church, they'd be fine.
Yeah, they're gonna have safety in a church.
Yeah.
On holy ground.
In the church, yeah. Say,
and they also reminds not to fall asleep.
Oh,
and it's funny because up until this point, like Kolchak is wide awake, everything's going, but then all of a sudden in later scenes, he's like really tired and really slow and looking for caffeine pills, things like that.
Oh yeah,
but
48 hours
he's
of
like
nonstop sleep, or 55, something like that. They said.
Yeah,
I think they said 55. I'm like, wouldn't you say 48? That's 2 days. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
That is.
It's funny. Left-Handed Jedi said, do they even have all you can eats anymore? Yeah, there's big buffets, and let me tell you, there are places you really don't want to go and eat. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. I won't name names of the 2 places because I don't know. Maybe I could get in trouble. I don't know, but there's a couple big ones that, if I mentioned the name, you would go, oh yeah. But holy heck, Dave. They go there to eat food, and they are not leaving for a couple hours. And I just would not eat there. The one place, it actually is, it was on a list in Ohio as the top 10 of like the worst place to actually eat and for cleanliness and stuff. And somebody posted a thing, listen, I don't care how dirty it is. I love this place so much. It's so good. And I'm like, you're nuts. But anyways, okay, moving on.
Yeah, I would only go and eat a buffet in Las Vegas just because, even though I'm going to pay out the nose for it, you're going to get some really good food that way.
Yeah. So, okay, so the gypsy, the whole thing. I think then we're up to where Kolchak goes to talk to Ryder Bond.
Yeah, he went and finally talks Ryder Bond into seeking asylum in a church.
Yeah.
So he can get some sleep.
Yeah, they have a kind of a personal, like one-on-one conversation. Like, he's Ryder Bond's playing at the piano, and he starts going into with Kolchak. He goes, what are you doing? I'm always seeing you around. You got to stop. And then he goes into like, I'm seeing myself. I don't know whether I'm hallucinating or what's going on, but I'm seeing myself. I'm going crazy, and Kolchak goes, you're not going crazy. It's a doppelganger. And he goes, what? And go ahead.
Well, the thing is, and every time they say doppelganger, they kind of laugh, and they're all, don't laugh, and I'm like, are they laughing because of the word or the idea? Or I was kind of a little
I was
unsure about that. But he does bring him to this absolutely stunning church.
Beautiful church. Yep.
And then we get into the scene.
I like the piano though. It kind of cements a statement.
Yes, absolutely.
Because as they're standing around and going, Kolchak's trying to convince him that there is a doppelganger. He's after you. See him, and he goes, "Well, is he? He should be here right now." And then the piano like falls and it starts vibrating and moving around and stuff, kind of freaky like. And that's when he says, "Let's get the hell out of here." And that's when they head off to the church.
I love that part. It was kind of like having a lifted car.
Yeah,
doing that, and that piano was definitely alive.
Or Shemp inside it, trying to fix the keys. Remember that?
Or Curly.
Oh, that was Curly, wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, but
Or was it Mary? Remember when Shemp was playing for the girl he was supposed to marry, but she was a very homely looking girl, and.
Well, do you remember? Because you're a Marx Brothers fan. Yeah. Was it Chico who played piano?
Yes, Chico was the man who played the piano like this.
That was, I'll tell you, some of the best piano playing is in the Marx Brothers movies. Oh, yeah. And he was a classically trained pianist. And just, I mean,
it's not very well known unless you're a Marx Brothers fan that they're not just comedians, but Chico was a musician. Harpo with that harp. I mean, for a reason he's called Harpo. I mean, he's mastered that harp, and they're great musicians. So yeah, I loved Marx Brothers.
And I love the way he also used it as a tool, as almost part of the story. And usually he would have a whole bunch of kids around. Yeah. At the end, and then he'd run down and hit the, last key on the thing, and they'd all laugh or whatever and come around him. But anyway, back to Kolchak. Yeah.
Hey, one time,
we are at the
church.
I've left the church already.
We're out of the church.
I'm actually back to the penny arcade where we get to see the guy who runs the penny arcade, and he tells the backstory of what happened with the death of Markov and what happened in the pinball, and the idea that he was, the pinball champ.
Got the Chicago accent going there too. He's going, "Hey, let me tell you, this is the pinball machine exactly where." Anyways, I don't know if that's Chicago.
I tell you, I wanted pizza after watching that episode.
Oh, really? Okay.
Absolutely.
Oh, nice. So yeah, Doppelganger chasing Kolchak all around. Take over Ryder Bond's body and wait, what did I got? Take over. Oh, just what he's trying to do. He's trying to take over Ryder Bond's body and kill him. And then we got Kolchak where he's got the caffeine pills and stuff like that, trying to stay awake.
Yeah.
And he gets a call from at Vincenzo's the office. Yeah.
Yeah. So he is back at the office, and we see him literally prying open Vincenzo's desk, which I thought was very, not Kolchak like. And he gets the petty cash, and he opens it up and takes all the money.
Yeah.
And again, I was just like, what's going on? But back earlier when we were with the Gypsy was like, you owe my brother $200 for some reason.
He'll break your legs, something like that.
Yeah. That she calls it the Gypsy curse.
Yeah.
But
I get what you're saying about during this little part of this episode where he hasn't had any sleep. He almost looks like he's an addict of some sorts,
Oh yeah.
And it is very off-putting a little bit watching the episode, because it's so unlike Kolchak to act like that. You expect him to be, you're his usual Kolchak self and funny and, going after things. But it was a little weird. But I thought even after he got the money and he gave it to Marmelstein, he told her to go give it to the Gypsy. She must have, but they didn't show it. She just kept hanging around. It was annoying me, right. Dave.
But I think she had to sneak out because she kind of hid the money from Vincenzo, who is only at after everyone leaves and he's sitting there, he's all, where's all the petty cash?
Yeah. Cut scene.
But I also,
Oh, for that
sorry.
scene, yeah, no, he sits down, sees the money, he says, and then cut scene, then we're back.
Well, also I wanted to point out that you had mentioned all the different camera angles in this episode.
Yeah.
And I really noticed them in the office because they're down at Kolchak's level, kind of looking up at the desks, at the walls, at the windows. And it was something that we hadn't really seen before, as we had more of an elevated view down. And it was really great to see like, you know, the old phones with the push buttons and the Rolodexes and the pin holders, the banker's lamps, things like that, really were period pieces for that office. And I love office spaces.
Yeah, no, again, snapshot of 1974. I think they did it really well in this one. They really did. South, aka Reds. What's going on? Good to see you. Good to have you. Good to know you. Poetic Justice. It was a weird Kolchak. Yeah, just during that time. When he was not getting no sleep. But before we left the office, he got a call from the father at the church saying, you know, to get down here or whatever, because I guess there's a doctor down there consulting with Ryder Bond.
Yeah, trying to
you're going
say
crazy.
it's all in your head. Oh, let's go ahead and leave, and we'll go.
Isn't that what they always say, Dave? It's all in your head.
I think so. At least the ones I've talked to.
If I haven't heard that a million times, I don't. Yeah, I'm sick of hearing it.
And I didn't like the doctor. She reminded me of like Dr. Joyce Brothers.
Yeah.
You know, or one of the psychiatrists, rather than a physical doctor.
Yeah. WTF Horror and Sci-Fi says, I didn't know you could sleep in a big church like that. Listen, back in the day, WTF, you could. Doors were always open for churches. But the whole world's changed now. Everything's locked. So it is what it is. But I think usually back in the day, they're like in the 70s and stuff, especially in the bigger cities, there always was a priest or a pastor or something like that on hand.
Yeah.
Who actually stayed and lived in the church itself. So the different times, that's all.
They were on call 24/7.
Yeah, for exorcisms and all that. I mean, there were a couple times my parents called and they came over. So, but yeah, he got a call and we didn't like that doctor, Dave. But did you like the interaction between Ryder Bond and Kolchak? Talk about that. And thank you, Poetic Justice.
Well, what I thought was actually more interesting was Ryder Bond versus Ryder Bond, because the doctor's saying you're hallucinating, things like that. Yeah, and he looks up at the window and there's himself right there. And he's like tapping on the windows and everything like that.
And he's smiling like in a mischievous devil-like smile. I mean, it was very... Yeah. And towards the end, there was even one scene where you saw fire in the back of him because he can't come into the church. I mean, there's got to be haunted churches, but anyways,
but he also he reminded. Well, obviously, he's kind of got that Satan-like figure with the features with the beard and mustache and everything, very similar to Judas.
Yeah, like Rosemary's Baby too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I heard you really like that movie.
Yeah, I do. It's a pretty good one. Yeah. Poor Mia Farrow. But yeah, when she conceived, there was a similar character down there in the anyways, okay, let's move on. Satanic or whatever.
All right. So also he gets in a little nap at least at the church. And then decides he needs to go and I think dig up the body of Mr. Markov.
Yes. I unfortunately I fall asleep at church at least once a month, says Hides in Long Grass. Yeah, I can see that, but I want a church where they're all singing. I mean, I know there's some where you got to keep the energy up. Preach the gospel and sing and dance, and I don't know. Is that a cult? I don't know. Anyways, hallowed ground. Well, that's for like vampires and stuff. Listen, Anton LaVey. Yeah, a little bit like that. The Eyes of the Devil and Rosemary's Baby was Anton LaVey. Yes. Anyway, I said that like I enjoyed that. No, that's all bad stuff. But I love the movie. Okay, so yes. While at the church, though, I was asking you, what did you think of the way they were acting? Because Kolchak, like, is like babying Ryder Bond, like, okay, go to sleep now, and he's petting him and stuff like that, and almost like babysitting him. It's a weird. There were some weird moments in this,
in a way, but we also see the police chief there as well, and he's all, like, look, you can't arrest him. He hasn't done anything wrong. It's, out of your jurisdiction type of thing. But I didn't really care for that particular scene because I think the doctor just really kind of took me out of it. I was more interested in learning about and getting out of the church. And it was disturbing too because of the guy tapping on, the windows and stuff like that. It was very disorienting.
Yeah, I think that was because he kept looking at one window, the other over there. So yeah, but that was probably the best part of it, I think, because he was, kind of teasing him as I'm coming to get you, I'm coming after you and stuff. And meanwhile, he's trying to sleep and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a different Kolchak in that scene too. But yes, he says he's going to go dig up the body of.
Yes, but before we dig up the body, we need to dig up some more thumbs up.
Oh, really?
We are at the top of the hour. We're only at 90.
91. Oh, we are almost. We're 9 away from 100. So
we would love to get 100.
Yes. If you haven't hit that thumbs up button yet, please hit that thumbs up button. Also, make sure you subscribe if this is your first time watching. Hit that bell notification. Check out the links below for all relevant links. Join Dave's channel where you get garden tours and you get to see Bo, which we didn't talk about that. Something happened to Bo. He stepped on something.
Bo got injured this week. Took me out a couple days, just emotionally a wreck. She couldn't walk for a day, and she's better now. So I'm very happy that's behind us.
So am I. That's good too. Tony Horror Writer, thank you. I tried to come up with the best look for, and it wasn't easy, for spontaneous human combustion. So I made sure the foot was missing and other parts of the body were kind of missing with the fire going on. So thank you. I appreciate it. I work hard on the thumbnails because it's what people see first when they're streaming along. But yeah, no, Kolchak figures. He knows. I guess he's found out. I don't remember this, but I don't know if I missed him getting the information from the Gypsy.
Yeah. But she gave a huge, he should have been taking notes, because it was that type of, you need to do this, and gave us actually a really good background, which is why I was kind of hoping she would be in later episodes, kind of helping us learn about the lore around these doppelgangers or whatever. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well listen, they're real things. Anyways, okay, so I missed that, but he's on a mission to go dig up the body.
Now, did that remind you of anything?
Of digging up the body?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Frankenstein?
No.
Young Frankenstein?
No.
Digging up the body of Frankie Markov.
They actually reused footage from the zombie episode.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah, they did. So as he is earlier digging up the zombie a couple episodes ago. And you'll also notice that when he's down there, he's digging up the body alone. There's people above him shining flashlights on him. So it's like, how are you alone with like 3 flashlights? So
Yeah.
remember, it's kind of the syndicate where then the zombie comes out and kills the syndicate members.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they reused footage.
Why? Why? I mean, I guess it didn't really see. I didn't catch it, so I guess it really doesn't matter. We need more thumbs up, you guys. We're still at only 92 now. Hit that thumbs up button if you can. Thank you, thank you. We always try to get to 100 through the Kolchak episodes or any of them. But on a cover of Mad Magazine, Alfred E. Newman was peeking out of the cradle, smiling. Says Tom O, maybe referring to Rosemary's Baby, I think. Anyways, okay, so his goal is to dig up the body, take it back to the scene of the death,
Right.
which is the arcade. And from there, once the doppelganger shows up, go ahead, Dave. Finish this.
Well, it's a terrific episode part where he's like literally, he's got his, what is it, a yellow Mustang?
Did somebody just screech wheels outside your house?
Yeah.
Oh my God. You need to call the police. No. Anyway, there he is again. Stop him.
They're doing donuts. So anyway, he pulls up in his yellow Mustang.
Yeah.
And he gets this like hefty bag out of the back of the seat, which is the body of Markov, right? Yeah. And he's dragging it down the street. It reminded me of the earlier movies, like the Ripper episode, or not the Ripper episode, but the Strangler episode. And he pulls the body down the stairs into the penny arcade, and pries the door open. So it's breaking and entering. He's
breaking and entering. Take all this into consideration for the end of this episode, because they had me wondering, but anyways.
Yeah. And then he drops off the body right next to the pinball machine that he died at. So
and unzips it, makes sure his body's there. And I love when the doppelganger shows up there. I wish I would have wrote it down, but he's reciting these words, and I don't think you got them down, do you? I mean,
yeah, I've got him. It'll come up on the screen in just a moment.
Okay.
But yeah, what was interesting is that Markov looks totally different than the doppelganger does. So he says, this is your body here. You are dead. You are not Ryder Bond. You will never be Ryder Bond.
Yeah.
Leave Ryder Bond alone. But as he's saying this, just like in that hotel room or penthouse bedroom, there's flames going up. The pinball machines are going up in flames. The video games are going up in flames, and Kolchak's just standing there pointing at this guy, rest in peace forevermore, and reciting these. And then you see Ryder Bond turn into Markov and melt down to the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. So the incantation or whatever he recited worked and took the doppelganger and put him back in the body at the place of his death. And I guess Kolchak did it. But I what I really love is that he runs out and he's hollering the words, "I had nothing to do with this." I had nothing to do with this. And I'm like going, what? Because it ends with him in the back of the seat of a vehicle.
It's great because as soon as he runs out, he runs literally, they almost hug with a police officer.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, there's never a police officer around when you need one. And then like, here's one.
He gets called immediately. Yeah.
And you're right. It's like, hey, I know nothing. I know
nothing. I had nothing to do with it. And then he's in the back of the police vehicle, finally everything's settled. It's all this. And he's like, hopefully Vincenzo can get me out of this one. And they end with that, because how's he not going to be charged with arson? I mean, I know previous episodes, he's gotten out of it because of the supernatural and like the sergeant or somebody would be more involved, which he wasn't in this one. Like most of the episodes, am I correct, Dave? The sergeant is usually in on the supernatural side of things, or that there really is a monster, and that's how Kolchak usually is let go. And listen, we can't explain this. Go ahead.
Yeah,
But this one not.
Yeah, they usually, the other sergeants see something or experience something, and this guy is just, straight-laced cop, and we don't see him at the end of the film, which is interesting.
Yeah.
What's also kind of funny, I liked when he was in the back of the police car, he was handcuffed in front, which they would never do, and he's holding his tape recorder. So we get the standard tape recorder ending of Kolchak, where he's talking into it and saying, yes, I don't know how Vincenzo is going to get me out of this, but tonight's his card playing night. So we're not able to find him. Thank God, because I'm going to take, a full night's sleep at the police station.
Yeah, so he finally gets to sleep. But listen, I know it's a show and he's not going to be brought up. But I wish they would have had the sergeant kind of maybe a little bit more involved, like all the other storylines, so that, we know that how he gets away with these things. But how you escape arson if they're not in it. Anyways, it doesn't matter. It's a show. I love that Left-Handed Jedi said, breaking and entering, grave robbing, arson. Yeah, no, he's got a number of you don't get out of that. But anyways, I mean, they wouldn't let me get. Anyways, Tom also says, Mark calling arson. Come in, arson. Anyways, hello, Pink Panther. I don't know if I said hello to you, but good to see you. So yeah, that's the episode. I think this was a really, really good episode.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was different. There were some odd things in it, but it all made up for a very interesting episode, and I really did like it. Can't wait for the next one.
Well, to me, it was also, it felt like they were building on a script rather than removing pages from a made-for-TV movie.
Okay. Yes,
I didn't feel that there were any huge gaps that we had normally seen in the past.
Yeah, I agree.
Can I read episode 7 coming up here?
Oh yeah, 94 thumbs up. We're 6 away from 100. If you haven't hit that thumbs up button underneath the video, please give us 6 more to 100 before we end this. But go ahead, Dave. The next episode we'll be doing is...
It's called The Devil's Platform. And I will read here. An inspiring politician is surrounded by a series of deadly accidents that obliterate any opposition to his career. And Kolchak discovers a bizarre supernatural element to his campaign, a deal with the devil that affords him protection and allows him to change form into that of an ominous dog. Soon, it's up to Kolchak to get him off the campaign trail once and for all.
So is this like a Dogman episode?
I don't know, but we got Tom Skerritt, I noticed, is the main person in this. So
okay, Dogman episode maybe. I don't know. Hey Ocean, good to see you. Okay, yeah. So, no, can't wait to do that. Next week, me and Dave will be talking about returning to Art Bell, remembering Art Bell, and Ghost to Ghost, 1998. So ghost stories that night, remembering Art Bell. Going to be a fun night there.
We're quickly approaching the millennium.
Yeah, yes, we are. And I pushed Godzilla last night. Something came up and pushed it, so it's going to be 2 weeks from now. But next week, Saturday for me, it is going to be the Battle of Puppet Master Dolls. So, that should be a good, fun one. And then, oh no, wait, that's Thursday. And then Saturday will be the Planet of the Apes Classic Franchise Trivia Night. So yes, I'm going to have a trivia night that night about all the old classic Planet of the Apes episodes. That should be fun too. So
For
that,
someone who hasn't really watched the Planet of the Apes,
okay,
what do you suggest in terms of maybe the first 2 or 3 versions?
Well, I mean,
we're going to watch the original first.
Yeah. I mean, The original was just, I mean, that's in the Planet of the Apes universe, that is it. But I love the episode, the movie with Escape from the Planet of the Apes with Caesar. I think that's a really, with Ricardo Montalban. That is a really good movie, and that's my second best. I love that Ricardo Montalban has raised him. That's after Zera and Cornelius came back in time to planet Earth, which was very interesting on that movie. But listen, I love them all, but you got to start with the original movie, and then there's also the TV series. I mean, I love the TV series. It's a shame that didn't continue, but we have just enough that are, it's just fantastic. It's almost like Kolchak. Okay. Planet of the Apes had just a good enough stretch of made for TV series episodes that you could follow from the beginning to the end, and it was great. I loved it. It was almost like the TV series was almost like a Starsky and Hutch season, except in Ape City and all of that. It was very odd. It's almost because the two characters were almost like that. It was the long black-haired guy and then the short blonde-haired guy. It was funny, but I love it. I love it.
Well, I love, is it Roddy McDowell?
Yes.
Is in it. And I want to say Claude Akins, is he in it as well?
Claude Akins plays maybe the ape.
He does play an ape. I know that.
The orangutan. That. Okay. Listen, even I have to go back. I don't remember.
But I just
you are right. You are right.
I am the Kolchak.
Yeah. So and then Kolchak. I think we'll play it by ear. Well, we always put things up way ahead of time. So let's see where we're at. 98. We need 2 more thumbs up for 100. I can't end. If we don't get 2 more thumbs up, we can't end like this.
It's like going to Christmas with 11 things and not 12.
Right.
11 days of Christmas. Like, no, that doesn't work.
Yeah, we need 2 more thumbs up for me to end this. And overnight tonight, you guys and gals, we have a mixed bag. I think I got a little bit of everything in there for you tonight, from some detective to The Whistler to even dark fantasy. And I end in the morning with 2 Space Patrol episodes. So when you wake up for morning coffee, Kathy, if you're still there, there'll be a couple Space Patrol episodes. So there you go. 102 thumbs up. Much love to you guys out there and gals. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. We have made it, Dave, to 102. That is spectacular. Wonderful. It's so great to get 100 thumbs up for these Kolchak episodes. Yeah, people love it. And with that said, Logan's Run had a TV series. What?
Not a big fan of Logan's Run.
Logan's Run was the first movie I saw in the theater as a child that I could remember. I was probably 4 years old, and it was just like a vision and seeing them on screen, and then it's gone. But that's my first memory. That's my first movie at the theater, and it was very odd that I remember. I'm here and can't wait. Oh, there you go, Kathy. And everything's going well with Kathy and her son. Everybody still send some prayers and say a prayer for Kathy and her son at night, if you would, and send some healing light that way. Just think Kathy, her son, healing energy, light, and all that good stuff. But he's doing much better, and he's progressing. So anyways, anything else to say? I don't think so. 9:18. We're just about at the bottom of the hour. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Harry Scott. Oh, before I go, do you remember the TV series Lucan? Dave?
No, negative.
Negatory. Negatory. That would be a no on my scale. A nope. The Werewolf Boy? What? Lucan. Luke and the Werewolf Boy. Huh. I don't remember it. And if I don't remember it, it must not be very good. No, I'm joking. Wait, I never seen Kolchak before.
That's true.
And look what I missed all these years. Jeez.
Yeah.
I'll look out for Werewolf Boy. You too, Dave. Check him out.
All right, I'll look out.
I never see anything.
The only thing I'm thinking of is Michael J. Fox.
Luke. Oh, the Teen Wolf.
Yeah.
I never see anyone that has watched it. It was about a werewolf boy teen. Wow. Is it a series or a movie? Okay, listen. I'm going to write it down. Lucan.
Write Columbo down too.
Columbo's been written on every sheet. But what does that mean? You have to start watching it.
Yeah, it only took you 6 years for Kolchak.
Well, I'm waiting for us to do a stream.
Okay.
To cover a Columbo episode.
That would be now. Yeah.
Not
only would that be awesome. Do we know yet if we're going to be here Christmas and New Year's Eve?
They're both Sundays.
They're both Sundays.
Christmas. I'll get to you, Dave. I think Christmas I'll be fine because I do everything in the morning with the
Likewise.
kids.
Yeah.
So evenings should be fine. So I think Christmas would be New Year's Eve, 8.
We could
10.
do it. We could do an Art Bell.
Yeah, no, listen.
We could do an Art Bell prediction show for 2024.
Oh, Dave, that would be so awesome.
All right.
Take predictions from the audience. We may do that, Dave. Because listen, New Year's Eve I can do that. I mean, it's from 8, an hour and a half. We don't do New Year's Eve is midnight. I mean, we got time. So yeah, there'll be shows on those days, even on the holidays. Yes, we are gonna do it. I swear.
Thanks, Richard.
Anyways. Guar Gum. Have you ever seen the reboot of Night Stalker? Did not last long. No.
Yeah, the 2006. Yeah, not.
Yeah, no. That's something we will never do. We do searches for anytime there's a recording or DVDs that are for that show, that reboot, and we usually burn it. We have a ceremony that we go through, Dave, right? And we recite some things, never reboot this.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't happen.
21 Jump Street.
Yeah. Yeah, you're definitely not getting me to rewatch that. So, but Dave, if there's a Columbo you want to do in the coming future, no, seriously, tell me.
Trust me.
We can do it. I mean, next week is Art Bell. Maybe the week after we can do a Columbo.
Okay. Yeah, I think, we will.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, we got to get out of here. Dave's getting real fidgety. I think he needs something.
Starving.
Oh, he's
It's 6:30 here.
So let's talk more about this. No, I'm joking. Okay, everybody. Thank you guys for showing up. Thanks for the thumbs up.